Okay, question 9. Which of these means changing state from a solid directly to a gas? That's sublimation. And we can see that's D, sublimating. Next one, I've taught you Dave's massive Veruca for this, but that's rho mv, and it tells us that exactly there. An object's got a mass in kilograms, beautiful, and a volume in meters cubed. It's going to want us to do the unit, so we'll look at that in a second. Calculate the density, so we know it's going to be mass divided by volume, so let's take the right numbers. So you can see there's my mass, there's my volume, divide it, what have I got? For my unit, kilograms divided by meters cubed, so my unit will be kilograms per meters cubed. So 2684 kilogram per meters cubed. So that's quite nice. Go on to the next one. Part, aluminium has a melting point of 660 degrees C. The absolute zero is minus 273, and we've got to change to Kelvin. So we know Kelvin is a higher number than degrees C. So I've just got to add 273 to that number to get it into Kelvin. So 660 plus 273 is 933 Kelvin. And as long as you know Kelvin is a larger number than degrees C, you can always work out what you're doing. You're just adding or taking away the 273. Describe the motions of particles in liquid aluminium. So we know they're overlapping each other. They've got a random arrangement and they're all touching each other. So the particles are moving randomly by overlapping each other, and I could add in there they're all touching each other. And the particles are moving faster than in a solid. So there we go. Next one, 6 marker. Table shows some properties of 2 materials used as thermal insulation. It tells us some information. I always think this is a nice 6 marker because you've just got to use each of the bits of information, have a little think about what these mean, and then write it up. So fiberglass is made from sand. Perfect. Sand is cheap and we're not going to run out of it. Polystyrene is made from oil. Oil is expensive and it's a non-renewable resource. It's finite. We're going to run out of it. It tells us the R value. The better the insulator, the higher the value. So this is a better insulator than fiberglass. So polystyrene is a better insulator, but the numbers are pretty close. It's not like they're massively away from each other. Okay, next part. Fiberglass is non-flammable. Well, we want to use this as thermal insulation in a building. So having something that could set on fire is not a great thing. So we're going to have to talk about that. The next one is this melts at 270 and spreads fire very quickly. So you should compare the properties and assess which would be more suitable. So clearly, fiberglass is better because it's made from sand that's cheap and I'm not going to run out. The R value is really similar, so it's not quite as good as an insulator, but it's not going to set on fire. Polystyrene, slightly better insulator, but I've got issues in terms of cost and it's going to run out. It's finite and it's got the chance of spreading fire really quickly, which homeowners are not going to be a big fan of. So it's then just wording that. So fiberglass has a lower R value, but it's similar to polystyrene. The fiberglass comes from sand, so it's going to be cheaper than oil. Also, sand will not run out. Overall, I'd say fiberglass is better. Fiberglass is non-flammable, whereas polystyrene can spread fire easily, which is not ideal for thermal insulation. Now, we could add in there, though, that fiberglass is more dangerous to install, so it's not great to get that into your lungs, but we can overcome that no problem by just making sure we wear a mask and appropriate gloves and personal protection. So that's that one answered. I think it looks harder than it is, but it's looking at the information and then using a bit of common sense to make an overall view.